Alright, here we go. There was some talk in the Facebook chat about people wondering how frame data works, wondering how what positive and negative meant, what frame advantage and disadvantage is, etc., etc. So we're going to go over frame data today in Street Fighter 6. I'm going to go through all of the aspects of frame data. I'm going to start at the basics, the building blocks of what makes your moves work. And then we're going to move on into universal frame data, specifically for Street Fighter 6. Drive rush, drive impact, everything that's specific to Street Fighter 6. We are also going to go over some concepts that you will be able to take with you into other fighting games to be able to get better at the genre as a whole. I do not claim to be an expert. I do not claim to have all of the knowledge on frame data. But I think I have enough knowledge to be able to speak on it a little bit. And I want to at least make the attempt to pass that knowledge on to other people. Some of this you might know already. Some of this you might not know. But we're going to go over absolutely everything. At least everything that I could think of. So first things first, in order to understand frame data, in order to understand positive and negative, in order to understand even how moves work in general, we have to know what a frame is in the first place. A frame is effectively one unit of measurement of time on your screen. It's how fast your screen is showing you. Each screen that your screen shows you is a frame. Everything that you see on your system, on your monitors, on your TVs work in frames per second. Fighting games, for the most part, run on 60 frames per second. Each move, when I press a button, a move comes out. Every move has its own specific set of properties. One of those properties is that move's frame data. Every move, if you look at the frame meter, I have the frame meter at the bottom middle of the screen. That's going to show me what my frame data is, and if I'm using Terry, it's going to also, on the bottom, tell me what Terry's frame data is. Now, when you throw a move out, your move is comprised of 3 basic building blocks. There is a certain amount of frames that the move has to start, and this is your startup frames. Think of it as throwing a punch. There's time that it takes from your fist to get from its ready position to your opponent's face. All of that time that it takes for that move to get there is the startup of the move. That's represented in green on the frame bar. In red, we have active frames. If your active frames overlap with your opponent's hitbox, you hit them. You can only do damage during your active frames. Most moves will hit on the first active frame. Looking at the frame meter again, Terry's bar at the bottom, you can see those yellow frames start. Those yellow frames start on the same frame as my red frames, or my active frames. That is known as hit stun. Afterwards, after you hit your opponent in the face and have done damage to them, you have to get your fist back into the ready position so that you can throw your next punch. That's known as the recovery frames. The recovery frames are indicated by the blue squares, rectangles, whatever, on the frame bar. Now, I just talked about hit stun. Hit stun and block stun are 2 concepts of how much time does your opponent reel after they've hit or blocked an attack. Let's take the punch in the face and flip it the other way. If you get punched in the face, your head's going to move. And then you have to get your head back into the same position. That is the basic concept of hit stun. It wouldn't be much of a fighting game if after I hit you, you could just immediately act. So there's a time that you are not able to do anything. You can't press a button, you can't jump, you got hit, you eat the hit. Same thing works on block. We're going to make Terry block for a second. And if I swing, he still has more yellow frames. He still has frames that he is now in block stun, it's known as. And block stun is the same concept of hit stun, except you're not losing any health. There is a specific period of time after he blocks that Terry would be able to act again. I want to make a quick note. The number that we're going by that says 10 frames startup, right above on the top left on my side of the frame meter. Just a quick note, quick mathematical note. If you look at the green startup frames on the bar, they add up to 9. And it's active on the 10th frame. So -1 to some math sometimes, because you want to go more off of what it says in startup and not the green number that says startup. But I think I have an example for this for later. Sometimes you might have to adjust your math by 1 frame. That's a little bit more advanced. We'll get into that a little bit later when we hit some more advanced stuff. While we are talking about hit stun, let's talk about why combos work. So we know that each move has a start up, an active, and a recovery. And if I hit you with that move, stop blocking, then you are unable to act for a certain amount of time. Sometimes the difference between the amount of time that I recover and the amount of time that you recover is enough time to do another move. And this is the basis of how combos work. So for Ken, if I do crouch light punch, if you look on my frame meter where it says advantage on the top, I am +5, it says right there. And even looking at the frame meter, you would have to count it. But where the 16 is and where the 9 is, there's going to be 5 frames difference right there between those frames. I am now +5 off of crouch light punch. I know that with Ken, my stand medium punch has 5 frames of startup. So if I hit you with a move that I'm +5, and I have a move that has 5 frames startup, we get a 2-hit combo. Because my move is able to come out fast enough that by the time you're done recovering from the crouch jab, you're getting hit with the stand medium punch. This is the fundamental basis of how combos work in every fighting game. If you want to go on Super Combo Wiki and look up the frame data for King of Fighters, insert the year here, and you see that your favorite character has a move that's +8 on hit and another move that's 8 frames startup, you got a combo. You can take that across any fighting game. That is how combos work fundamentally. Knowing how combos work, we're going to talk about a couple of different types of combos. The first one that I showed you, I have 5 frames. I'm +5 frames. I have a 5-frame move. This is known as a link. I am linking crouch light punch into stand medium punch. The other, and this is something that you would generally find at the end of the combo, is the cancel. So this on hit is 4 frames. I have 4 frames advantage. So if I go here to here, I'm still at 4 frames advantage. My Hadouken takes 12 frames to start up. Now, based on the math that we just did, 12 frames isn't going to come out in that 4 frame window. Terry's going to have 8 frames to work with, and Terry's going to be able to what? Crouch heavy punch, right? We're going to get counter hit. So, some moves have the special property of being able to be canceled into special moves. So, the math, 12, does not go into 4, so we shouldn't be able to hit it on paper, but because stand medium punch is a special cancelable move, we get a 2-hit combo. This is a cancel. We are stopping the rest of the animation. If you look at the frame meter of stand medium punch, there's 4 active frames, right? But if I cancel it, the Hadouken starts when the second active frame was supposed to start, because the medium punch canceled the rest of its animation and it started the Hadouken animation. Now those 12 frames startup will definitely fit in at least those 14 frames of recovery. We're going to be able to get our Hadoukens out. The last basic combo that we're going to cover is known as a chain. It's a little hard to demonstrate on hit because I'm +5 on hit, so we're going to demonstrate it on block. Now, we're going to get into the positive negative concept a little bit right now. I am going to touch on it a little bit more later with a little bit more detail, but for the moment we're just going to remember the basic concept of a combo, the fact that it works on block as well, because the recovery you get, the recovery amount is different, but it's the same effect except you're not being hit. So if I do crouch light punch, I am at -1 on block. My crouch light punch is a 4 frame startup. Terry's crouch light punch is also a 4 frame startup. Both moves come out at the same speed. So if I am at a disadvantage of 1 frame, his light punch should come out 1 frame before mine, and he should hit me. So let's try to demonstrate this. We're going to go to reversal. We're going to make him do that 4 frame crouching light punch. So he's blocking now, and every time he blocks something, he's going to do a crouching light punch. Now, if our math is correct, his crouching light punch on block should come out 1 frame before my crouching light punch comes out. Thus, if I do it twice, I should get hit. But I don't. I counter hit Terry instead. And if you look at my my frame meter, normally, let's turn this off real quick. Normally I have 9 frames of recovery on my crouch light punch, but it recovered in 8. And the other one's active on that 9th frame. I don't even see the startup frames of my other crouch jab. Normally, you would see both green, but here I only see the 1. Some moves have another special property, and that is that they can be canceled into other normals. Those are known as chains. This is a chain. There we are. This is a link, and this is a cancel. Those are your 3 bread and butter combos that you're able to do in a fighting game. Another way to think of chains as well a lot of characters, and I've done it a couple of times already, have target combos. These are moves that can be canceled into each other specifically. So crouch jabs, they can be chained into stand jab, they all combo, right? They can all be chained into each other. But stand medium kick with Ken, I can't chain that into jab. I'm pressing it into jab because Ken has a special target combo. It's medium kick, heavy kick. This is also a chain. In addition to a link where I have enough hit stun that I'm able to do the next move. This is a concept, again, with block stun being the same thing as hit stun, you're just not getting hit. The same concept will go into block stun as well. So if I have a move, if I do drive rush crouch medium punch, I'm +4, right? He's blocking and I'm +4, and that's enough for my crouch jab, right? Because my crouch jab is only 4 frames. So when we link this together, let's say on block, let's have him do crouching light punch again. His move doesn't even come out because I've kept him in block stun. He hasn't had one single frame because I'm +4 from the drive rush crouch medium punch, and I'm using a 4 frame normal after. The math works out to he has 0 frames in between there that he is able to start a move, even if he was mashing. Even if, let's give him OD rising tackle, and let's make him do that on block. Every time he blocks, he's going to do OD rising tackle, and that is an invincible move, invincible reversal. It should go through anything that I try to throw out, and you see he got the counter hit there. If I keep him in block stun, he's unable to do anything in between. I'm going to make him parry. Turn it on, there we go. So after block, he's going to parry. He can't even parry this. The parry doesn't have enough frames to come out because I'm keeping him in block stun. It's a really good way to keep your pressure on people. It's a really good way to make sure there's no gaps in your strings that people can do OD uppercuts through. He can't level 3 in between there. He's locked down. That is a block string. It's important if you're going into training mode to learn what your block strings are, because otherwise, my stand light kick is 5 frames. Let's give him 1 frame. I got perfect parried. Because he's pressing parry frame 1 after he's done blocking, and I'm leaving him a 1 frame gap. I'm +4. I'm using a move that's 5 frames startup instead of 1. That gives him just enough of a gap that he can have his parry come out. Whereas, oh, I mistimed it, ironically by 1 frame. His parry, nothing will come out. Knowing now how our moves work and how we can use the frame data to find out whether or not we can combo, or to find out whether or not we're leaving gaps for you to be able to OD Shoryuken through our block strings. There's a couple other pieces to the puzzle of the building blocks of a move. If your active frames collide with your opponent's hitbox, you get a hit. Now, when your active frames hit your opponent matters on what kind of hit that you get. So, we're going to touch a little bit on positive, negative right now, but the focus is more on the 3 different types of hits that you're going to get in this game.
What are you waiting for?
The first one, we're going to make him block, and we're going to make him throw out his fastest normal. Okay? If I hit him during his startup frames, I get a counter hit. It says nice and gold on the left side of the screen over there. It says counter hit. And if you notice, my crouch light punch was usually +5 because we use that to combo into the stand medium punch. But my frame meter's telling me it's +7. Okay? If your active frames collide with your opponent's startup frames, you get a counter hit. And in Street Fighter 6, counter hits are +2 frames. So I'm +7 now. Okay? My crouch medium kick is 7 frames. Right? I'm in a +7 situation on counter hit with a 7 frame normal. We got ourselves a nice little combo. Guilty Gear is the opposite of Street Fighter 6 when it comes to counter hits. Counter hit in Street Fighter 6 is good, but it's not the best. It's just good, right? In Guilty Gear, you hit a counter hit, counter, right? It fucking throws like confetti and shit at you, right? Like you fuck their day up, right? These are some of the subtle differences between the video games. But the counter hit is still the same counter hit. You are hitting your opponent during their startup frames. Now, if your active frames collide with your opponent's active frames, right? Here's my crouch medium punch. On block, my crouch medium punch is even Steven. 0. We're going to have Terry throw out a 4-frame normal. I'm going to throw out my 4-frame normal. We're at 0, so there's no plus or negative. It's 4 versus 4. What happens when you put 4 versus 4? We trade. We both get hit. We both get counter hit technically. If your active frames connect with your opponent's active frames, you trade. Then there's those recovery frames. Punish counter is when you collide with your, I could do this with stand medium kick, with your opponent's recovery frames. So if you look down in the frame meter, the 7 frames of startup basically in the dead center of my the top part of the frame meter, the first active frame after that is colliding with the 7th blue recovery frame of Terry. Street Fighter 6 gives you +4 frames off of a punish counter. Stand medium kick is normally only +3. I can't even combo jab afterwards. This will never work. I can't even distance myself. The only thing I can hit from here is stand jab, 4 frame, but that's never going to combo because I'm only +3 after that. If I add 4 frames to that, I'm +7 now. So again, we can go into our 7 frame normal. Right? We got combos. There's a couple special frames to talk about. There's several moves in this game where it has a set amount of frames that they can't be hit. If I set Terry up to no block, right? In this situation, I'm going to hit him when he gets off of the ground. Every single time, I'm going to hit him, right? With that medium punch. Dash in, stand medium punch. I hit him when he wakes up, right? If he, instead of waking up, is OD rising tackle on wake up. Give it OD, turn it on, okay? If I do that same thing, he blows right through me. Rising tackle has several hits of invincibility, several frames of invincibility rather, you just can't hit him. You just can't hit him. There are some moves that are either only projectile invulnerable or only throw invulnerable, or strike invulnerable. Some moves aren't projectile invulnerable. Some moves are only strike invulnerable. So we're going to make him on his... I don't know how to use this, I swear. We're going to make him do level 1 on Wake Up. He gets up off of the ground. He's going to do level 1. I have a fist out. He goes through it. I get hit, right? But if there's a projectile hitbox there, instead of my strike hitbox, he doesn't hit me. Instead, he eats projectile. And if you do it correctly, it not only hits him, but I get a whole combo because he decided to wake up and do level 1. Some moves are throw invincible. If I have him just jump. So, jumps are throw invulnerable. No matter how many times I go for this throw, because he's jumping, pre-jump and backdash frames are throw invulnerable. So if you're getting hit and someone's going for a meaty throw on you, they're trying to throw you as soon as you get up off of the ground. If you jump or if you backdash, you're going to avoid the throw. And in some instances, especially if it's a command throw, you're going to get a punish counter afterwards. You're going to be able to murk them up and do some real damage. For real, for real. I'm going to show you a little trick on armor frames now. And we're going to use Big Mommy Marissa. Armor is another sequence that can happen. You get a certain amount of frames of armor. Marissa gets her armor from several moves. Whatever this punch is called is going to be the one I'm going to focus on for this particular section. You may have gotten hit by this move many times by Marissa. Marissa, charge, quarter circle forward punch. Zangief, stand, charge, heavy punch. Moves that have that type of armor only have upper body armor. Okay, we're gonna make Marissa do it again. I didn't see any armor that time, right? She's definitely charging the move that time. Moves like that only have upper body armor. You might want to go for an anti-air. You might mistime it. And you might end up eating that jump in heavy kick, right? For Shotos, for most characters, the dragon punches are top body invincible, upper body invincible. There's a certain amount of frames where the top half of your body is not going to get hit. So in those deep jump-ins, where your normal anti-air will get hit, other moves won't, because the upper part of the body is invincible. It's meant to go straight through that. So the next thing we're going to touch on is basically just the principle of positive and negative in general. Some moves, it's good to know whether or not you're positive and negative. Some moves, it's good to know how positive or how negative you are. We already covered why it's important to know how positive you are in learning how to do a combo. However, if you're only a little bit positive, what does that mean? First example that I have is Ken's heavy dragon lash kick. On block. Excuse me. So on block, if we look at our frame meter, I'm +1. I'm only +1. So if Terry's mashing his fastest move, jab, and I also mash my fastest move, jab, right? Block reversal, crouching light punch. Let's turn that on. So after Dragon Lash, he's going to jab immediately. But I have 1 frame of advantage. 1 singular frame of advantage. And all that means is that 1, Terry can't do anything to do damage to me. I'm not negative. I'm not in a action where, like, if I do this, he has the entire world to hit me, right? While I'm still coming down from the ground, right? I'm here, I'm in his face, and I have 1 frame of advantage. And if we both do our fastest move, I counter hit Terry. We both did a 4 frame normal, but I have 1 frame I'm able to act. So that makes me winner if we press jab. If Terry chooses to do an invincible move after that, it will go through my jab. In that situation, I understand that my opponent is now going to not respect what I'm doing. I'm going to block afterwards. Because I'm +1. If I'm +1, he can't do a move against me without me blocking. Unless he does a throw. But perfect world, we're not talking about throws at this moment. That's +1, right? We already seen 0, right? Crouch medium punch was even, right? We did that one earlier. So if I do crouch medium punch on block, 0 frame advantage. So if we both throw jabs, we trade. We're both throwing the same, right? My crouch medium punch is 6 frames. Terry's crouch medium punch is 6 frames. If I change that crouch light punch to crouch medium punch, we turn that on, and I do crouch medium punch, and we both do a 6 frame normal. Oh, I'm not doing the right one. If I do a 6 frame normal and he does a 6 frame normal and it's at 0, we trade. Because our active frames pop up at the same time. The third option is negative. If I do drive rush, stand heavy kick, I'm in a position where I am -1. And the same thing happens in reverse from the situation that I was when I was +1, right? So if we have him do his fastest normal again, right? And I also do my fastest normal, I get counter hit this time, right? So the important thing to know is that being -1 does not mean that if I do this, I take damage. I still have time to block. He has 4 frames for his move to come out. So even though I'm negative, I'm safe, right? And the reason that I'm safe, stand heavy kick normally is -5, okay? Versus Ken, if he does stand light kick, right? Terry's stand light kick, 5 frame startup, okay? Ken stand heavy kick, -5. if I don't space it correctly, I eat a punish counter because he's able to hit me before I have enough time to recover. Right? However, drive rush. Remember, punish counter gives you 4 extra frames. So take whatever frames anything is. We're gonna hit it. We're gonna put on punish counter. Okay, that's 7 frame advantage compared to +3. You get that 4 frames. Okay, if I drive rush heavy punch, it's 7 frame advantage. You get another 4 frames added on drive rush. So in those situations where I was 0 on block here, right? I know I get +4. I know my jab is 4 frames. So I know that if I have him do something, right? If I do that, it's a block string, right? I can do that math now because I'm using all of the different tools. I'm using drive rush to increase my plus minus 0, my even, to 4. And then knowing I have a 4 frame normal, there's 4, 4, and that's where my example came from earlier, right? I'm able to take the startup of the move, I'm able to take the recovery of the other move, and math that you can generally do on your hands. You're going to be able to formulate your own block strings. But back to the drive rush. Drive rush, just for reference, also stacks with punish counter. Okay, so let's make him OD rising tackle and block. Right? Punish counter +7. Okay, may not get hit by it. I'm +11 now. Extra 4 frames because the drive rush +4 frames you get and the punish counter +4 frames that you get stack on top of each other. You don't just get one or the other in Street Fighter 6, you get both of them. And with 11 frames, I got 10 frames start up, 8 frames start up, 8 frames start up, 8 frames start up, 12 frames. The only thing I can't combo into normal wise is only off by 1 frame. And that's my slowest move I have, is the only one I can't combo. So, knowing that, I know that sometimes, maybe, you know, if I misjudge this distance, I get punished with a stand light kick. But if I drive rush into it, I can increase my pressure by making it safe with the drive rush. Because I'm only -1 now. I have to be smart enough not to press a button to know that I'm negative. Yet, still at least safe as far as the numbers go. This is not a tactic I recommend. This is just an example. Please don't drive rush stand heavy kick. Don't. Please don't. Burnout. Burnout is also another 4 frames. But it only applies to block for burnout. If we go to Terry and we dehydrate him on block, oh, it's on refill is why. Let's not fix. Let's keep it there. There we go. So our stand heavy kick, that was -5. I'm gonna turn that off. Is now still -1. It's -1 as if I drive rushed, but I didn't drive rush. On block, if your opponent is in burnout and they block one of your moves, that's 4 extra frames in your favor. But what if I do drive rush, right? +3. +3 is a really good situation. +3 is a perfect situation depending on your character. If you're Manol and you can force +3, if you're Geef, if you're Honda, Lily, and you can force +3 situations and get that command throw, strike mix up. That's a good place to be. So even though I didn't hit Terry blocked. Terry, I think, might take a little bit of chip damage from this, right? I'm in a fantastic situation at +3. Terry also in Burnout doesn't have any reversal options except for, you know, he can throw his level 3 out or something like that. You're +3, you know, we take risks sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, right? Each game has a magic number. Every single game, fighting game that you play has a magic number. And that magic number is when things become unsafe. Not just negative. Not just, oh, I can do this move and if he blocks it, then I'm fine. I can just block whatever he does next, right? Not that, right? What if it's negative the same amount that a move is, right? For Ken, if I let's give him his juice back. If I do light dragon lash kick, we remember Street Fighter, we were talking earlier, the magic number is 4. Crouch jab for most characters is a 4 frame normal. That's your fastest move in the game. Even the invincible move has 6 frames of startup. It still takes a little bit to get going. Crouch jab is 4 frames. So what happens when you or your opponent is in a situation where they are -4 and you have a move that is 4 frames? So if we have him do his 4 frames on block, we're going to do crouch and light punch again. I get punish countered, right? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to recover, right? If I'm -2, right? Stand heavy punch -2 kind of pushes me out a little bit. But I got time. I got time to block these ones, right? I got time, even if like, oh, I didn't mean to hit that one. Even if I don't have time to do my jab, right? I can't do my crouch jab. I'm negative. I lose if I press jab, right? If I just block, I'm still fine. But if you're negative enough, right? You cross over into a territory of where you're going to actually get punished and damage is going to happen. There are a couple other magic numbers that tend to happen in fighting games. One of them is safe jumps in Street Fighter 6, right? So for most characters, if you want to be in a safe jump situation, you want to be +42. So for Ken, if I do medium punch, heavy punch target combo, medium Jinrai, and I don't press anything else, I'm +42. This is very, very special, okay? Because what I can do is hold up forward and come down with a really, really deep heavy punch, okay? There's a few special things about this. One, you can see that it hits. I get combos, right? It hits, right? If he goes on wake up for OD, so if I go hit this, he's invincible, he's gonna hit me, that's got invincible frames, right? But because I'm timing my safe jump out, even though I'm able to hit him, right? If he doesn't do this, I hit him. If he does do this, I block. Right? We got full combo, right? There's another concept that is known as frame traps.
What are you waiting for?
All a frame trap means, we're gonna put him in, we're gonna make him do, just turn it on, crouching light punch again whenever he blocks. Make sure he's blocking. So whenever he blocks, he's gonna do crouching light punch, right? We know that his crouching light punch takes 4 frames to come out. And we know that if we're at a block string, his normal doesn't come out, right? His normal doesn't come out here at all, right? Sometimes, like, this pressure's good. You don't want to leave a gap, right? But sometimes you want to leave a gap, right? If we turn his crouch and light punch off, if I do drive rush medium punch, right? I'm in a +2 situation. I get to act 2 frames before he does. Mine next normal, I'm going to do crouch jab, which is a 4-frame normal. So I'm +2, I'm using a 4-frame normal. I'm leaving a 2-frame gap because I specifically want the start of his jab to come out. I want you to be mashing. I want your jab to come out, okay? I want you to mash jab in the corner because I'm leaving a gap open, right? That I can fucking go ham, okay? These are frame traps. The other thing I want to get on real quick is meaties, okay? Meaties are super important. It's really important to know some meaties, okay? All a meaty is when I do something to you and I knock you down, okay? When you get up off of the ground, I want my attack to cover your wake up. I want you to wake up into an active frame. I don't want to have startup frames, right? Because look, if I'm doing, like, I can't grab you because I'm not timing it right. I want you to be able to get up and you have to block, you have to throw tech, you have to guess at that point, okay? There are situations where you can make, you can just auto time make the active frames as they wake up, okay? This is my route. This is my formula. If I wanted to find a meaty, just to have a meaty set up, okay? The first thing you want to do is, how do I end my combos normally, okay? Because whether I start hitting you with a jab, okay, or if I got a whole combo going, okay, I'm ending my combos in a Shoryuken, generally. Even in the corner here, heavy Shoryuken, right? I'm ending most of my combos, especially in the corner, in a Shoryuken. Because if I'm not in the corner, I want you to be in the corner, right? So I'm gonna push, right? Push, dash, push, right? I'm gonna push you into the corner as much as I can. And then once I have you in the corner, just for this example, we have Shoryuken. We're gonna just do target combo, run Shoryuken. If I hit you with the stray medium kick, I'm going into target combo, run Shoryuken. If I hit you with the punish counter, something into something, I'm doing target combo. It's the bread and butter for Ken, okay? If I do this, and I just don't touch anything, and I look at my frame meter, okay? I'm +25, okay? After I land, and I'm able to take action, it's 25 frames before Terry's standing up and also able to take action. Also meaning he is able to be hit. We are, in this situation, +25. I don't have anything that's really 25 frames. This is 5 frames, this is 6 frames, this is 7 frames, this is 10 frames, that's double digits at least, 8 frames. So I don't have anything that's 25 frames, right? So let's try to knock a couple of frames off, and let's try to bring it into the single digits, because all of my moves are single digits, right? So we're gonna do the Shoryuken again, and then we're gonna dash forward. We're just testing it, right? That brings me down to 6 frames. My crouch medium punch is 6 frames, right? That's 1 frame off. There it is. As soon as he's up, okay, I have an active frame in position for him to get up off of the ground onto. If you see where the 118 on the yellow is down there, the 8 is highlighted. That was the last frame from him getting up off of the ground. The next frame after that 8 was him available to be hit. And would you look at it, he's in hit stun. It's all yellow, right? Now he can block that. It's a meaty. You are able to block this, right? However, there's a curious little side effect to these, right? Because my crouch medium punch isn't +4 on hit, okay? My crouch medium punch is +3 on hit, right? But for some reason, when I do this, right? I miss time. I got you. Don't worry, I know how to do this. But for some reason, when I do this, I'm +4. If you were here earlier, I had brought up something about the math being weird. Sometimes when you do stuff, this is one of those situations, right? So in this situation where I am +6, my 6 frame normal is actually hitting on, I believe, the 7th frame. So there's 5, there's 6, and it's hitting on the 7th frame. So there's 1 frame of a shift here, right? It's one of those quirks of, again, on the screen, in the word startup, on the top left of my frame meter, it says startup 6 frames. But the actual green frames above the 118 says 5. This is what I was talking about, where the frames shift by 1. You kind of have to like -1. So instead of being +6, I'm actually like +7, quote unquote, right? But I'm at 4 frames now. 4 frames. If I do crouch medium punch, stand jab, crouch medium punch, it's +3 on hit, right? Crouching medium punch. Stand jab is a 4 frame normal, 4 frame startup. But if I time this correctly, I could get that to combo, because I'm able to manipulate my frames to where not only are you waking up to an active frame, but you're waking up to a later active frame. You got hit by the 2nd active frame instead of the 1st active frame, but you suffer the same amount of hit stun. I just recover 1 frame faster. That is being more meaty than if you only had the 1st frame hit, right? Stand heavy punch has 5 active frames. If the 1st frame is active on your wake up, that's a meaty. If the 3rd frame is active on your wake up, that's even more meaty. So that wraps up the frame data session. I appreciate y'all hanging out.